And if you look at the first demand, the total demand, if you summarize the Bill of Rights, you will realize that one of the demands is political autonomy. What does that mean? Allow the Ogoni people to choose who they want to represent them in all institutions. Today, all of us are happy that there is what we call Bill of Rights. But how many years ago? 30-something years ago, our people to represent them in all institutions. And that is the political autonomy. But we were misunderstood out of context to say the Ogoni people want to have a kingdoms and so on and so forth.
Misunderstood by who?
By the people, by some Nigerians. But I think the essence of this political autonomy is to allow our people to participate in the political process of this country and allowed to be represented at every level that they feel they are human beings. So to me, the entire essence of the Bill of Rights deals with participation in this resource control. And that boils down to say, if you want to continue,
why has there been no attention?
The struggle is continuing. And at certain stage in our lives, we've achieved a lot.
Okay.
To me, the United Nations report came. The special rapporteur who conducted and carried out this, investigation of our environment and released this report on the 4th of August, 2011. And there are some struggle. We were very consistent. We are indeed concerned over our environmental devastations and pollution of our environment. So, early 2013, if you could remember, on the 10th of December 2013, people, in course of this peaceful protests and demand, also protested within the Akpajo axis to say, 3 years down the line, you've not been able to implement this United Nations report that was released on the 4th of August 2011. And the government came to Ogoni land and engaged the people.
All right. Now, 2011 is a long time ago. Ledumite said there is no proof. No proof. If I understand English, it means nothing has been done. You have said that the process is slow. So what are we looking at? A cleanup that does not exist, or one that is not moving as fast as you would want it to?
To me, the cleanup exercise, considering the structures of high prep, like I said, I was trying to explain why we got to the point of getting the structures of high prep. I have the governing council of high prep.
All right.
And the Ogoni Environmental Restoration Trust Fund, aka Board of Trustees. I was part of it.
I believe high prep came in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
But to stakeholder discussion, we now agreed what to call hydrocarbon pollution and remediation project.
Okay.
And after the engagement, the multi-stakeholder engagement with the government, the IOCs, and MOSOP, that is the Ogoni community, then these structures of high prep you are seeing today, the governing council and the board of trustees. But I think something went wrong along the line.
Which is? Because
of representation. In course of our discussion, we agreed that the community, led by MOSOP, should have representation on board of high prep and the board of trustees.
Okay.
But, when the board was, constituted on the 4th of August 2016 by the President, General Muhammadu Buhari, you realize that we only had substantive member of the governing council and 2 alternate. Then, on the board, we only have 2 substantive members coming from Ogoni community. So to a large extent, you see the number of persons representing the IOCs and the government. Of course, you realize that the minister is the head of the governing council. And of course, you also have the chairman of the board of trustees.
So, Mr. Biira, are you saying that the Ogoni cleanup is exactly where it is now because of a power tussle?
I don't see any tussle, going on there.
No.
The structures that we put in place.
I like how you've chosen your words carefully in this particular engagement. You have used the word representation quite loosely. You started with the Bill of Rights, talking about proper representation, people from Ogoni being represented in different parts of government, and I mean, just helping you get to the destination.
That ought to have implemented the content of what we agreed, because there is a gazette. And what we agreed in course of this multi-stakeholder discussion, I think there is some element of politics going on. The Nigerian factor crept in.
Okay.
For instance, in course of the multi-stakeholder discussion, we agreed on step A, B, C, D. And if you look at the paper before me here, we call it high-level roadmap. And in course of this high-level roadmap, we said emergency measures, implement emergency measures for the community to assess possible drinking water as a short-term measure within 18 months, 6 months. Portable drinking water. The entire essence of this discussion is as a result of, provided portable drinking water to our people as an alternative source of drinking water.
Okay.
If I ask you now, can Ogoni people 6 years and about 4 months thereabout, after the first board was constituted on the 4th,
and it is supposed to be emergency
measure within 18 months, meaning that because in course of this discussion we agreed that $200 million should be remitted
yearly,
annually.
We would get part of a larger 1 billion US dollars environmental restoration fund. The plan was that 200 million would be paid yearly for the first initial 5 years. And it is supposed to be funded by the Nigeria government, the NNPC, and SPDC, I believe. Now, in the first 4 years, it was 40 million. So,
I think the will of the government and the IOCs is not there. The will of the government and the IOCs is not there. Who cannot control themselves takes arms and all manner of evil. The board ought to have received 800 million US dollars
for 4 years.
So by 4th of 2021, 500 million, $1 billion ought to have, be remitted into the Board of Trustees account. But today, just like what you've said, some we hear 350 million US dollars. You are saying 300. So, the right thing is not done. They are politicized. It is a matter of ignorance because MOSOP engaged the federal government. It was out of this struggle. The Ogoni cleanup is not a blessing. It's a special purpose intervention project. We demanded for it. And you can see some element of politics around MOSOP. It's as a result of non-proper implementation of this process.
Okay, so let's say that the government and the IOCs, as you've said, have not played their part.
I have done this with XYZ. I have done this with XYZ. So if, like I've told you, this high-level roadmap that the emergency measures should be implemented, that is provision of potable drinking water, within 18 months, 1 year, 6 months, and that is not done up to this moment. You judge it by yourself. The audience that is hearing me, those who are out there that is...
We understand the issues, say, federal government and the IOCs. We get that the money that was supposed to be released was not released. We can understand. But let's come to MOSOP. What is the responsibility of the Ogonis in contributing to where the cleanup is? Because as we were talking about a part also earlier, for example, I know that in MOSOP, there are already factions. As a matter of fact, when your name was mentioned yesterday, it went with the title Factional President. That's exactly how you were described before I even reached out. So, MOSOP itself, how has MOSOP helped the Ogoni people? Before we take the blame to federal government and IOC, let's bring it home. How exactly has MOSOP helped this particular situation?
There wouldn't have been any cleanup without MOSOP. And that is exactly what those perceptions, those wrong insinuations, that MOSOP has a lot of factions, A, B, C, D.
Yeah, but MOSOP is divided.
Excuse me, no. It's human perceptions, it's your thinking.
What is your position in MOSOP?
You invited me here, you came to I forwarded my details to you. Let me tell you. MOSOP only had office here in Port Harcourt.
Okay.
And I forwarded to you. If you come to that office, you will see day-to-day activities that is going on.
Now, Mr. Biira, if you look up MOSOP president, another name that is not yours also comes up. So what do I mean? Again, I'm not trying to derail this conversation, but I'm trying to make you see that, do you understand that the division is also costing Ogoni people the progress that they deserve? That a house divided against itself cannot stand.
Artificial division. And as a result of this very clean, I am informing you now. Any of those people you are tagging a name should be able to come forward to say, I participated in the process that gave birth to this hydrocarbon pollution and remediation project. Throughout the discussion, I was there. I wasn't president then, but I had several offices committee, like I put it across to you. So the knowledge is there. And you cannot look at my face here and you think I should be childish to believe in what is wrong. The artificial sponsors of those who, because of this cleanup, it's as a result of the cleanup, the thing on their mind in order, to embezzle this money, just like you are hearing that some people call it a cover-up, is to ensure that MOSOP, is perceived to be divided. And that is a wrong perception. Let me tell you, There are indications, indices. None of these people, I'm not here in a court of law, but I will approve to you. And let me tell you, yes, one office, one account, everything. So anything you are hearing, ignore it. It's not correct. I don't want to go into when some people were trying to be funny because of this issue of cleanup by trying to sponsor some people to say, I am this, I'm that. It's not correct. Ignore it. At the appropriate time, we are going to mobilize our people to say why the perceived divisions in MOSOP is as a result of non-accountability of this fund. But at the right time, we will do what is needful.
Which is?
Let me tell you. In course of our engagement, even when at a point when the former president, that is Goodluck Jonathan, was out and the present government came into being, to a large extent, when Kifasi that was leading on this discussion went to meet with the present president, he now said, are you sure the Ogoni people will allow this process? But even continuing, none of those things is accessible. You can't see it. A comprehensive plan.
So, Mr. Biira, it's unfortunate that time is not a luxury we can afford. All of this ends at 9 a.m. We understand the problems. What has been done? Has anything at all been done? Let's say there's 100% work to do. What percentage of work done can actually clean up?
To my mind, some people are ending salaries. Some are from Ogoni. So people are there to end salary.
That means, Mr. Biira, the Ogoni are the Ogoni's biggest enemy.
We are not an enemy. You ought to have implement XYZ mentioned here. That is the cleanup. The cleanup should be visible.
Okay. Let me break it down. Sorry for this on UNEP recommended. The cleanup is supposed to be in 4 phases, right? Cleanup of surface oil, remediation of soil, restoration of mangrove, and monitoring. What stage has been activated in these 4 phases?
Like I said, if our perception is that nothing has really happened, because if you cannot provide potable drinking water to the people as the first step, then you are talking about the second step, third steps, and all that. Okay. I think it's not correct.
So even stage 1 has not been activated?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Provision of potable drinking water should be the first thing. Follow up by, building this integrated contamination soil management center, where the soil tests of all these, highly impacted sites will be conducted.
All right.
There should be a comprehensive plan to say, I am doing this. I will get to this. I will get to that. From A, B, C, D.
Well, the report, sir.
But to a large extent, like I said, the agency has come to stay. And people are ending salary.
Okay. I have more questions, but I'd like the next voice to be that of the listener. Of course, we're having conversations around the Ogoni cleanup. What is your assessment? What is your take on the Ogoni cleanup? Call us. The numbers are 070-0923-23, 070-0922, 07923-0003. Please turn off your radio as you call and go straight to the point. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother in the studio.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Babangida, calling you from Kana local government.
Go ahead, Babangida.
I am very happy with my brother right there in the studio.
My brother.
Spoken well. And that, the problem of the Ogoni people is that we see what is right and decide to turn it to become a black or a bad thing. Like the man sitting in hall. Until we wait, not the one on radio, talking there, and nothing is being done. No drinking water, like my brother is talking. So how do we go about this type of thing that they are saying, clean up, this is for anyway, that we have not even experienced anything concerning this clean up. No drinking water, nothing. So what kind of government are we running? What kind of things are we running? So I pray that the man in your studio should continue speaking so that the government and the people will hear him and do what is right. Thank you, my brother. Good morning.
All right, so thank you very much. You still can make your voice heard. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06416. We are live on Facebook and Twitter. That means you can watch as you listen. You can also drop your comments on those platforms. Please turn off your radio as you call. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please turn off your radio.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
I'm Emmanuel. Good luck.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
I'm calling from Buguma.
All right.
Yeah, actually, I'm a good person. And I've been in town. I've traveled to my place several times, especially when I heard of this cleanup of the thing. But the simple truth is that there is nothing called cleanup. They should not be deceiving people. Coming on radio and talking, then they will be on newspaper and all the rest. There is no cleanup in Ogoni. Government is not doing anything. Because just like our brother in the studio have already said it,